Brame, and I'm going to be your instructor for the Inquiry-Based Lab module that you're going to complete this week. I'm currently an assistant director at the Center for Teaching at Vanderbilt University, and I'm also a senior lecturer in the Biological Sciences Department. I came to this position from a position as an associate professor at Centenary College of Louisiana, where one of the most challenging and most rewarding parts of my job was in teaching labs. So I'm very enthusiastic about our module on inquiry-based lab instruction this week. What was your experience when you were taking lab courses as an undergraduate? Did you find them exciting? Interesting? Did you see obvious ways to link them to your real life and your future work? For many of us, undergraduate lab experiences were anything but exciting, interesting, and obviously linked to the real world. Instead, they were often exercises where there was a predetermined question, a predetermined procedure, and a predetermined answer, and a penalty if we didn't get that answer. In this module, we're going to refer to that approach as the traditional lab approach. This sort of approach to labs can really stifle interest in science. One effective way to promote learning in the lab setting is to use inquiry-based laboratory pedagogies. As we'll talk about in this module, you can engage your students in inquiry to different degrees, ranging all the way from simply giving them the responsibility for experimental design, all the way to doing authentic research in the course. In each case, however, the goal is to incorporate elements that rely on the principles of learning, particularly as they are embodied in the promising practices in STEM education. In this module, you'll see two examples of inquiry-based lab instruction. One is in an introductory astronomy lab, and individual students pose a question and gather and analyze data to answer their question in a single lab period, presenting their work to their colleagues in the following lab period. In the second example, a group of 8 students in a second semester biological sciences lab collaborate on a project throughout the semester, culminating in a poster presentation to department's faculty and staff. Following the videos presenting the examples, you'll view a video that outlines the key elements of inquiry-based lab pedagogy, and then another that helps you think about how to assess an inquiry-based lab. After completing this module, you should be able to describe elements that are essential to inquiry-based lab instruction, as well as additional elements that can be incorporated, differentiate inquiry-based lab approaches from traditional lab approaches, link inquiry-based lab pedagogy to 3 larger learning frameworks, so specifically what we know about how learning works, 2, how this approach encourages students to engage in increasingly complex cognitive activities as described in Bloom's cognitive levels, and 3, what we know about promising classroom practices in STEM education. After completing this module, you should also be able to choose or design assessment tools appropriate for inquiry-based lab learning goals. And you should be able to describe potential benefits of inquiry-based lab instruction for students and instructors.